do to get the people to become complacent is put fear in the hearts of the people. And then once people become fearful, then they resort to saying, well, the government has to take care of me. Anything more annoying to me can't be anything more annoying when I hear commentators on the television say, well, you know, it's all right to talk about liberty. And I hear every once in a while say, and yeah, and I'm a libertarian, but, and their but is that you can't have freedom if you're not alive, so therefore it's the government's responsibility to keep us all alive, even if they have to take away our liberties. It makes no sense. One firm conclusion I have come to over the years is that it's harmful and unnecessary to ever give up any liberty for the sake of safety and security. I'm convinced if we had a better respect and a better understanding for the Second Amendment, maybe 9/11 might not have ever occurred. In the process, in some of the bills that have been passed in the last couple of years, from the Patriot Act on down, but they also have essentially eliminated the Insurrection Act, which means it's very, very tough, had been very, very tough for a president to declare a national emergency. Now, of course, it's very, very easy. Just for, civil disturbance, the government can declare martial law, which is exactly the kind of thing that the Texians objected to, the American settlers objected to. But that now is very, very easy. If I'm ever to be elected president, let me tell you, forget what I was going to tell you. Now, I'll tell you what, if that would ever be to happen, I would never use the executive orders to legislate. That is not proper. I would use the executive orders to repeal all the bad executive orders. If a part of a bill is unconstitutional, I won't write signing statements and pick and choose. I will veto the bill. Also, I would never fight an undeclared war. It would be the people who declare the war.
Yeah, he's gonna come right here.
And there would never be a declaration of national emergency and military law on the people. And that, to me, is what we have to fear. That could come. Under certain circumstances, the laws have been changed so significantly. We have a lot of remaining freedoms. We gathered here together. I even got on a stage and got to bring some of these views out, even though I didn't quite get as much time as the others did. But we do have some ability to communicate with the internet. There is a lot of competition out there now that has not been available. But we have to make use of it. We can't be complacent. We have to educate ourselves and understand the issues. We have to show the people that we are the ones who care about the people. They claim if you believe in capitalism that you're cold-hearted. People who believe in socialism are cold-hearted and they don't understand economics, and they undermine the very people they pretend they're trying to help. The truly humanitarian system is the free market system. That is the system that takes care of the maximum number of people. That is what we have enjoyed. We have been blessed to have lived in the country that has been the freest and the most prosperous. Today, the prosperity is dwindling and our freedoms are dwindling. It is because, as a nation, as we became more prosperous, materialism became more important than understanding where our material benefits come from. Now, all of a sudden, we're getting poorer and we're racing off to Washington to grab up pieces of a shrinking pie. But now is the opportunity. And now I believe this is the reason the message is being received so well. because we're realizing that something has to be done. And the answers aren't that difficult to figure out. All we have to do is look to our traditions. We got into this mess because we don't obey the Constitution. Why not fix it by obeying the Constitution? Freedom is great because it brings people together. Crowds are diverse. They come together, they look different, and they have different values. They have different ways they want to run their lives. They have different books that they want to read, different movies they want to see, different ways they want to spend their money. All kinds of things that the do-gooders in Washington. One group says, oh yes, but they might spend their time and their lives in a way we don't approve, and we want better moral behavior. Others will say, well, they don't know how to take care of themselves. We'll give them Social Security and make sure they'll be taken care of in their old age. So they go on and they don't trust the people. And now what we're witnessing is a failure of government. I think one of the remarkable events has been in the last couple of years, 2 years ago when we had Katrina. People had become complacent and they figured the government's always there to take care of us. And then all of a sudden, even with government's $50 billion of appropriations, still more than half of New Orleans hasn't been rebuilt. And the other day somebody announced on the radio or on the television, they said, it's interesting. The part of New Orleans has been rebuilt has been the part that has been rebuilt by private property owners. Wow, amazing. So what happens when the government comes in? They send a lot of money. They say well, the people don't have enough money to pay their bills, so we'll have them line up and we'll give them each a $2,000 check. And the lines got longer and longer. People came from all across the state and the country and got in line. And then the government discovered a lot of people shouldn't have received that money. They said, well, we'll send them a letter and ask them to return the money. But no, the city, people are realizing that the solution isn't in Washington. Central economic planning doesn't work. It doesn't work when the Federal Reserve is doing it, whether the Congress does it, whether it's in medical care. It's always a failure. That's what the message was about the failure of communism and total socialism. But we have been trapped in this country to accept the notion that we don't have socialism if we have partnership with big business and big government. That is not a solution or an alternative to socialism because it leads itself to fascism, which can be just as bad as old-fashioned socialism.